I was in a relationship with Björk, right? And I don't think it was a good relationship for her. And I feel kind of, I wasn't good. Do you know, but when you have a bad relationship, and it wasn't bad for her, it was bad, it was me. And I think she played me that song. So I think that's me trying to salvage something good from our relationship because it was not a good time for her. And I feel bad about that because she was so good to me and so nice to me. And she played me that one day in her house, and I can remember exactly when, and I can remember what she was wearing and where we were in the house. So I think that sampling that was me trying to salvage something beautiful from it. And maybe it's an apology to her, even though the lyrics ain't about her. Maybe it's an apology and trying to remember something beautiful from our relationship. So I think that maybe be an apology to Björk. I learned a lot from Björk. And I think this is why I sampled it as well. It's like me trying to give a gift back. She said to me once, never learn to sing, never take a singing lesson and I said, why? She goes, because you've got weird melodies and you write weird melodies for your songs. And if you learn, it will change it. And she always used to say that to me, and she knew me better than I knew myself. So I think that Funny Valentine is me saying thank you to her. And like, for instance, now I've done it, I get to say it in press, right? She might get to hear it, but I don't get to see her. So I'm hoping she might see this or hear the track so I could give something good to her, you know? Because she's a great person, a very great person. I'm married. Do you know what? I didn't know he was gay, but that don't matter to me. I don't care. But because the video is quite, he seems like a tough guy to me, quite ghetto. And then what's crazy is, right, I did the vocal, then I researched him. And have you seen him, the thing he does about being on the A train? Whoa, watch this. It's about him being on the A train and he's singing on the train. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm talking about he camps it up. And I must admit, I rung my daughter, 18. Me and Martina got a kid. I'm like, you know this guy? And she likes him. And I'm like, I didn't know he was that effeminate, you know? So it was a shock for me, but I don't care. You know, I don't care. And I think he's brave. You know, I think that's brave. And I think artists need courage. You know, you need to have some courage. If you're gay, like, you know, it's like the Cray twins, Ronnie Cray, right? Not that he's a gangster, but you got to respect him for being in the 60s and saying, yeah, I'm gay, so what? Anybody who's got that much strength, you have to respect him. So I'm planning on working with him again, you know? But I didn't know he was who he was when I did it. And it was a big shock. I was like, you see this A-Train thing, and you're going to be like, wow. So I went from his deep voice, the heavy beat, sent it back to my manager, then watched this A-Train thing, and I was like, oh my gosh. It was a big shock to me, big shock. Nothing's changed. She's got a guy who does her choreography. What's it called? The dancing stuff. She was in England. She wanted someone to do a feature. He mentioned me. I don't know if she knew who I was. I don't think so. She might have heard about me, but I don't know. And he mentioned me, so she said, okay. And I had to do that just because it's so perverse. Like, to go on stage with Beyoncé, like, I don't know much about her and I don't know her music, and I really can't say I'm a fan. She's a nice girl. But I can honestly say I'm not a fan. But especially because, do you know Live Nation? I was banned from Live Nation festivals. And Glastonbury is a part of that, right? So I thought it was kind of perverse, the fact that I wasn't allowed to do any. They've said Tricky is not playing any Live Nation festival, but when Beyoncé wants me on stage, it's okay. They open the gate for me. And I just had to do it in a perverse way because that is the biggest artist I've ever been next to. And I went on, the smoke the dancers, then my mic didn't work. But then when my mic didn't work, I just started watching everything. So it was like I was watching it. And she's so professional, right? When she seen my mic didn't work, she came over and started winding down on me, right? But, you know, it was kind of like professional, but it was sexy. And I'm not that kind of guy. I'm a bit shy. So she's winding down on me, and then I look at the front there, and Jay-Z is right in front of me, right? It's just weird. And I got a cousin, he's a Jamaican guy in London, and him and his friends were watching it, and when she went to wind down on me, he said to his friends, like he was talking to me, he goes, "Go on, Tricky, whine it, whine it." And they were all rooting on me but I couldn't do it. There's no way I could grab Beyonce around the waist and start doing that stuff. So I just watched the show. I was just like, it was amazing, amazing. I don't know if I would do it again, but it was like The Fifth Element. Terrible thing for me to do, but where I come from, you don't get offered a huge Hollywood film. So I did it in a perverse way, yeah. But she just asked for me. But a strange thing, that was a strange thing. And it made me realize I haven't got the courage she has. She's a professional. Professional, very professional. Like, it was so bright on stage, right? And I had dancers looking at me, you know, like, yeah, let's vibe together. I'm not that sort of person. If one of my band look at me on stage, I'd be like, what are you looking at? Why are you watching me? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes Francesca watches me when I'm on stage, when I'm on one. And I say, don't watch me. So I'm not used to that big. But it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. And now I'm got Live Nation again. So I don't know if that helped. But I'm allowed to do Live Nation. Change my stride. Why, it was almost like, it just was so easy, this album. Mixed Race and Northwest Boy, I had to think about it. I had to think like, oh, this song needs guitar or this. This album, it was recorded in 2 weeks. And then they played around with for a few weeks, writing the lyrics and stuff. So it was just very easy, just like it just all happened. And there's 16 tracks on the album, and I think I only recorded 19. So 2 or 3 didn't make it. So there was no thinking about it. It was just really easy. And the other albums, I think because I was thinking about paying back budgets and I thought about it, but this was just really, it was like eating, breathing. Then I learned a good lesson then. I'm like, wow, this is how it's got to be, you know? And if I'm in a business situation, I'm always going to try, because I'm smart enough to know, all right, this is business, and that don't work. So this album was just really not thought about. I'm talking some songs done like, what's it called? Somebody's Sins. That wasn't supposed to be on that album. That was waiting around for an hour. I think I was waiting for a bass player to come in to do a session in Paris, and he was an hour late. So I did that because we had nothing to do. And Fran, we just did the song, you know? So it was just very easy, very fun, a lot of fun. Like, people visiting me and just chilling out and not working. Like, I remember with my last 2 albums, I was like, I wanted to get it finished very quickly to get it out so I could pay the debt back. This album was recorded quickly, not because I had to, just because it happened. And I wasn't like, you know, all right, I've got to pay this debt, I've got to pay this debt, I've got to pay this debt. So I think this is just me. I think this album's more me. And the other album was just, I thought about it, I analysed it, tried to make it better, tried to think what's best for Domino, you know, with the guitar thing. So I think this album was just back to me doing what I do. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a naive artist. That's why my music sounds different, because I haven't got no musical knowledge. So the only way for me to make music is not to think about it. And the albums I've thought about, I don't think they're so good. And all the albums I've done, so now hopefully I'm going to remember this and just don't think, just do.